and welcome. My name is Jocelyn and today we are doing a makeup inventory. I try and do this 1 to 2 times a year just to kind of keep track of where my makeup collection is and make sure that no category is growing way too much and out of my control and out of my awareness. I mean, obviously I'm very aware of what I buy and how much I buy and how much I spend, but it's just kind of nice to see what my makeup collection looks like throughout the years. The 2 updates I last have on my little spreadsheet are August of 2019, so a little over a year ago, and then January of this year. So it's been about 9 months since I last did this update, so I'm really excited to see where all of my categories are. This is probably going to be a little bit of a long video, so let's just go ahead and get started. All right, let's get started. So the first category on my little list right here is mascara, and last time I had 5 mascaras, and this time I think some of these categories it's just kind of a timing thing. Sometimes I flex up and have a little more, use all those up, and then purchase some more. So right now I have 3. This is the one that I'm using right now. This is the Milk Kush mascara. And then these 2 mascaras, I have the Blink Black Lash Primer that I have not used yet. And then I also have the Trustique Good Vibes mascara. Both of these I got in a BoxyCharm. This one I got in some kind of set, I think a set a while back. So right now I have 3, down from 5. Moving on to brows. Last time I had 3 brow products. The time before that I had 3 brow products. And I still have 3 brow products. I think I have some different ones. I usually always have this one right here. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow, I think. No, yeah, Dip Brow Pomade in taupe. And then this I just kind of need to use up. I don't use it that frequently now that I have the Brow Flick by Glossier. But this is the Brow Wiz in taupe by Anastasia. And then I also have been purchasing the Glossier Brow Flick in taupe. So these work well for me. Moving on to eye primer. Previously I had 2. I am up from that, and that is a recent change. Before I had these 2 products. This is the Too Faced Glitter Glue and then the Milani Eyeshadow Primer. I am almost out of my everyday eyeshadow primer, and because I was running out of that, I did purchase from BoxyCharm the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter eyeshadow primer, and then the same month that I purchased that from BoxyCharm, I also got an eyeshadow primer in my BoxyCharm. So I now have 4 of them, which is okay because this is gonna go soon. All right, moving on to pencil eyeliner. Last time I had 7 of them, and I don't think that I've really gone through these recently, and I now have 8. And the reason that I have 8 now is because when I ordered the Raw Beauty Kristi eyeshadow palette, they did send an eyeliner to me. This is the Pure On Point eyeliner in the shade Down to the Earth, which is a nice brown color. So I didn't have a brown before, but I'd been wanting to get one anyway, so that kind of worked out really well. So this did increase by 1, which is fine. Moving on to liquid eyeliner. Previously I had 4 of them, and now I have 2. I'm pretty sure that all of the ones that I had well, actually I might have had this one. This is the ColourPop liquid liner in the shade The Hills. This is a nice green color. I'm not sure how well that'll show up. It's kind of a light green color. So I do have this one. I think I might have had this one last time. And then I have purchased the Glossier Pro Tip Black eyeliner. This is what I've been using recently. It's not my favorite. I don't think that I would repurchase it. It works good enough, but there are better ones out there. So this one is new from last time, and I only have 2. Ooh, moving on to glitter eyeshadow. This time I have 19, and last time I have 19. I think I added this one technically to this group, so I'm not really sure which glitter eyeshadow I got rid of, but this used to reside in a palette that I decluttered, so this category didn't change at all. Oh geez, oh geez. All right, moving on to ColourPop Super Shock Shadows. Last time I had 11 Super Shock Shadows, so let's see where we are now. 11. I haven't added any and I haven't gotten rid of any, so these are the same ones that I had last time. There might be a couple in here, actually, now that I think about it, that may need to go because it has been quite a chunk of time since I last swatched all of them to make sure that they are still in good quality, but these have made it through quite a few declutters, and as you can see, 2 of them have not been opened yet because I wanted to hit pan on all of the ones that were already opened. So I still have a few left to hit pan on, but hopefully that'll happen sooner rather than later. All right, and from ColourPop Super Shock Shadows, we will move on to my single eyeshadows. Okay, so these are all the ones that I have. Off the bat, I know I've added an Hourglass Scattered Light eyeshadow and this Kaja stack, and my friend gave me this right here. This is the Tarteist Metallic eyeshadow in the shade Scandal, but it is shattered, so I haven't had a chance to repress that yet, but I did want to include it because it is in my collection. I do also count each of the stacks as 3 because there are 3 eyeshadows in here. I almost am tempted to count these in my eyeshadow palettes as my pocket palettes, but there's just 3 shadows in here, so they feel a little too much to include in this category, but a little too small to include in that other category, so I don't know. They're included here. So last time I had 23, this time I have 26. So I have added 3, 4, 5, but I must have gotten rid of a couple because we only increased by 3. So this is pretty good. Ooh, next we're moving on to highlights. Last time I had 10, which increased by 2 from the time before that. So I had 8 and then 10. And I know that this category has increased because I know I've brought some new ones into my collection over 2020. So let's see. So as a reminder, last time I had 10, I now have 12, which is only an increase by 2. I know that I've added this, and this to my collection. I think both of these came from BoxyCharm, and then I bought that on my own. So those are the 3 that I've added. We only increased by 2, which means I got rid of 1. I feel like 12 is not an outrageous amount. This is, I think, my largest cheek category, which isn't that surprising to me. But I think my blush collection over the next year is gonna give my highlight collection a run for its money because I have decided that I really enjoy liquid blushes. So we'll see what my collection looks like in another 8-ish months. All right, let's move on to bronzers. Last time I had 1. This time, I have 2. The Marc Jacobs one is the one that I've had for the longest, and I did add this cream bronzer in this last spring. I only have 2. I really like these 2. I also have some bronzers in some face palettes that I use occasionally, but I really love both of these. So I'm not really much in the market to buy new bronzers unless there's something that comes out that I'm just really excited about, which is what happened with this cream bronzer. I mean, you can kind of see that I've used this a ton. I really like this. So an increase of 1. From 1 to 2, I'm pretty happy about this. All right, let's move on to setting powders. Last time I had 2. I have doubled this. Last time I had both of these. These 2 I have added. This one I bought myself. This Ciate powder came in a BoxyCharm. I don't think 4 is an outrageous amount, especially because this is a pressed powder, not a loose powder, and I have hit pan on that. Look at that. So this isn't too bad, even though I've doubled this category. Now for my blushes. Last time I had 7. I know this category has increased. Oh my gosh, 11. Yep, that sounds about right. Honestly, not that upset about it. Let's see. So I know I've added both of these cream blushes by Fenty. I know I've added the shades Petal Poppin' and the shades Strawberry Drip. And then I also recently picked up one of the Rare Beauty blushes in the shade Joy. And then I also added this Cover FX blush at the beginning of the year. And then I got this Milk Makeup blush stick in the shade Work. This was, I think, a part of the Sephora birthday gift. So I've added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, and I think I just decluttered 1, which the math checks out. So I don't really hate this. I would like to expand my blush collection. I know that at some point I'll be decluttering this because it's very old, and then also probably this one and this one in the next year or 2 probably, which really isn't that good of a timeline, but there it is. Okay, so moving on to primers. Last time I had 3 primers. and now I have 2. So I think this is the only rollover. I'm pretty sure that this one was new from BoxyCharm this year. So I have the Pure 4-in-1 Correcting Primer and the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. So just 2, which is fine because I don't find a lot of luck with primers. I do like these 2. So if a primer doesn't work for me, I quickly declutter it. But these 2 actually work pretty well. So I do like these. All right, on to setting sprays. Last time I had 2. And this time I have 2. This one's new, this one's old. So this is a deluxe size, or travel size, I guess, of the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. This is actually pretty close to being used up. I should probably put this in a project pan or something. And then I have the Ciate Everyday Vacay Spray. I have been using this and I really like this. This one's pretty full. This one's probably 1/3 of the way full, so I really just need to use this up. All right, moving on to concealers. Last time I had 5. This category has increased to 6. So really only by 1, which is surprising. I felt like it had increased a lot more, but I think it's because I decluttered a couple and I've used some up since my last update. This is new. This was from a BoxyCharm. This is the Too Faced Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I haven't really given this one much of a try, so this could stay or go depending on how trying it out goes. This Glossier concealer is new, and I think the Pretty Vulgar might be new. I actually might have gotten this before my last update. I'm not really sure. Out of all of these right here, I think these 2 and maybe the Glossier are my favorites. I do use these ones decently. The Pretty Vulgar one is nice. I don't know if I would repurchase this one. The RMS is okay. I would not repurchase this one, especially because it's so heavily priced. But I do like the Glossier for more natural days, and then I really like the Kaja concealer and the Hourglass concealer. Actually, the Hourglass concealer, if I'm being honest, is probably my all-time favorite concealer, but it does come with quite the price tag. This category has increased from 5 to 6, which again, I don't think is a total outrageous number for concealers. Right, on to foundations. Last time I had 7, and now I have 4. What? That's crazy to me. I don't know if I've ever had 4. Well, I don't know if in any recent years I have had 4 foundations, and all but this Fenty foundation are new. So most of this year was spent using up foundations. I used up just about all of them except for the Fenty one, and I did declutter a foundation because it was just way too old and never going to be my color again. This is my most recent purchase. This is the Ilia True Skin Serum Foundation. I'm still getting a feel for this. It's not my favorite at this point. And then I also picked up the Glossier foundation and the Bite foundation. I like both of them. They're very natural, everyday, lighter to medium-ish coverage. I would say the Glossier is light coverage, the Bite Beauty is more medium coverage, but you can build it up a bit, but they do give more of a natural finish. The Fenty foundation is definitely more of a medium to full coverage and a more, I would say, satin matte kind of finish. And then again, the Ilia, I haven't given enough tries to really have any kind of full thoughts about, except for that I don't love it yet. So still playing around with it, but this category did decrease from 7 to 4, which is pretty crazy. I'm probably going to increase this category because I don't mind having a fair amount of foundations. This is not a lot, and that's kind of exciting to have once in a while. Ooh, all right, we are moving into face palettes and then palettes and pan eyeshadows and then lip products. So first we have face palettes. Last time I had 5, and I don't think that this category has changed at all. Sure enough, we still have 5. I haven't purchased any new face palettes in a few years, I think, and I haven't really used any up. I have been working a bit on this one because this is pretty old. I also have been really wanting to hit pan in this NARS palette because NARS isn't cruelty free and it's getting pretty old in my collection. I guess this is probably one of my actual oldest, is the Becca Jaclyn Hill, but I don't know if I'll ever get rid of this because it's just kind of special. So this category, very unexcitingly, has not changed at all. Okay, moving on to actual palettes, the first of which is my pocket palette category, which is usually, most of the palettes have, I think, less than five or less eyeshadows in them, but they're just my smaller palettes that are small. They're small in size. That's basically what it is. Last time I had 8. This is one of my favorite kind of types of palettes. I just love small palettes. I also feel like that's very trendy right now, is small palettes. So let's see. I have 11 now. So I've increased, wow, really? By 3? What have I added? I've added the Electro Turquoise by Kaleidos. I've added the e.l.f. palette in Blushing Berries, and I think I've added this Natasha Denona Gold palette. That sounds about right. So these 3 palettes over here are new ones. There we go. We have increased by 3, which is perfectly fine for me because I really love this size of palette. It's just, it's just good. It's good. It's my preference. I really enjoy this. All right. And now we're gonna move on to palettes. Let's hope that I do this right the first time because I usually end up having to recount, and I won't be surprised if I end up having to recount. So, well, last time we had 29 eyeshadow palettes, and I know that I've added a handful. So, let's see where we're at. I think this is correct. I usually forget about these 3 Storybook Cosmetics palettes because they sit on a shelf behind me and not with the rest of my palettes. Oh god, did I just say 32? Oh no, I'm pretty sure I said 32, which is an increase by 3, but I know I've added more than that. So let me move these out of the way. And the ones that I've added this year, so first of all, my best friend bought me the So Jaded palette for my birthday. So this came into my life. I recently bought the Natasha Denona palette. So this is new. The Pure and Raw Beauty Christie is new. So there's 3. The Meant to Be and the Going Coconuts. Oh, and the Shared Planet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 palettes that are new. I'm pretty confident that these are all the new ones, which is actually kind of a lot. I had a limit on the palettes that I could buy last year. So 1, 2, well actually technically I didn't buy the So Jaded palette or the Shared Planet because both that came in BoxyCharm. This came from my best friend. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I added 6 palettes to my collection, but it looks like I only increased, I think, by 3. Dang it, I'm gonna have to recount, aren't I? Shoot, I was being so careful and then I started talking and I lost it. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 32. Okay, so I have 32 palettes, which is only an increase by 3, which I really don't think is that bad. And I'm happy with all of these palettes. So I'm under 50, which is kind of my all-time goal, is just to have under 50 palettes. So we're still significantly under that, and that feels good. All right, let's move on to lip products. So we are gonna talk about lip liners first, and I'm pretty sure this hasn't changed. Last time I had 9, the time before that I had 9. Actually, I got a set in BoxyCharm now that I'm thinking about it. I did get rid of 2 of them, but I did add 1 of them. So I did increase by 1. That math checks out. So we went from 9 to 10, which I don't think is crazy. I don't use lip liners a lot, so I probably could go through this and maybe pare it down some more, but I do keep a lot of like these darker colors whenever I choose to wear a darker lipstick because I find that a darker lip liner is essential for those moments, or like a brighter one, like a red or something like that. So maybe next time it'll be a more significant decrease. All right, moving on to liquid lipsticks. Last time I had 25. I only have 21. Wow, I wasn't expecting one way or another for this to have really changed, but I have decreased. That's so exciting. Let's see. So I think I have, oh, I added the Rare Beauty one in here. And that actually might have been it. So, and I know I decluttered a handful in here. So I've only added this Rare Beauty liquid souffle lipstick thing. So that's kind of cool. I have decreased this section, and a lot of these are my fall colors. So I'm very excited to get some use out of these coming up here real fast. Ooh, moving on to lip gloss. Last time I had 3. I have increased this because I have been getting into lip glosses. So let me share with you how that has changed. I have doubled this section. So let's see, I think I added in this, and then I honestly can't remember which ones I had last time. The only one that I know for sure is new is this one. I can't remember which of the other 5
I think that I got the other two right after I filmed my last inventory, so I can't remember which ones are from the previous inventory. It might have been the 2 Fenty glosses, or these might have been the 2 new ones. I can't remember. So this has increased though by 3. I don't think that that's crazy. This is not an outrageous amount of lip glosses. This one, this newest one that I got though, is by Lila B. It is really pricey, but it is, I think, my favorite out of all of these. But this has increased from 3 to 6. We are moving on to lipsticks, and last time I had 24. I don't know if I've added any new ones into here, but I have decluttered some. So let's see what this looks like. 22. So we've decreased by 2. And I think that this lipstick right here, this is by Dose of Colors. I think that this is new. I think I got this, well, I know I got this in a BoxyCharm, and I'm pretty sure that was after I did my last update. So I've only added 1 to my lipstick collection, and we have decreased by a total of 2. So I must have decluttered 3 total lipsticks. And that's very exciting. Look at this. It's funny, I just have this little grouping of random lipsticks, and then my Color Splash by Tarte and my ColourPop Luxe lipsticks. All right, so we're almost done. I almost wasn't going to include this next category. I just wasn't feeling it, but alas, I did include this every other time, so I knew it would throw off my totals if I didn't include it. So, single pan shadows, these kind of shadows, so ones that don't come in a palette that I have either depotted or that are just single pan shadows that I've purchased from a brand. So I do have quite a few of these. I did go through and quickly declutter some. Usually I put a lot of thought and effort, but I just did a quick declutter of like depotted shadows like this that are just extremely old and I know that I'll never use. So quite a few that look, you know, something like this, that look just very well used, have had their time, and I moved out. So I did do a quick declutter, and let's go ahead and count my single pan shadows. Okay, so these are all of my single pan shadows. Last time I had a whopping 137. I don't think that I've added any in, and I did declutter a good hefty amount. So let's give them a count.
24, 48. 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75.
Is that right? I only have 111 now? That means I'm down 26. Yeah, that is about right. So we're down by 26 shadows, which is pretty great. I'm pretty excited about that. This definitely feels and looks a lot better than it used to. It used to look a lot more cluttered with just a lot of shadows that I just didn't like and held on to for whatever reason. In case you're curious, the ones here are Lethal Cosmetics shadows, along with this one single shadow down here. These, I think, are all ColourPop in here. More ColourPop. In this one, there is primarily, if I'm not mistaken, of course, the one that I grab is ColourPop. Let's grab this one. Yeah, Sydney Grace. So a lot of the ones down in this corner, and then a lot of this palette is Sydney Grace, but particularly these bright, shiny, beautiful ones down here. A lot in this palette is kind of miscellaneous. There's some Makeup Geek in here. There's some ColourPop in here. There's some Anastasia Beverly Hills, just a lot of random ones in here. And then up here, there is some highlighters. I think these 3 are highlighters. These I pulled out of an ABH Glow Kit. I'm not sure where this came from. There's nothing on the back. This might have been Makeup Geek. There's a Sephora one in here, and I think these actually might be Morphe, these 2 right here. And then I think these ones maybe are from a long time ago, Makeup Forever. I don't purchase from Makeup Forever anymore because they are not cruelty free. So, okay. Those are all my single shadows. All right, so now that we have all of my totals, let me sit down and let's just kind of talk about where my numbers stand and where in comparison particularly to last time. All right, here we are for an outro. This is a different day in a different location, but my beauty room is still a mess while I wait to film an organization video. So, for my final numbers, I do have some fun facts for those of you who like numbers and statistics as much as I do. Last time, my total count
was 352 items. That does include my single pan eyeshadows. This time I had 7 categories that decreased, which is very exciting. I had 12 categories that increased. Not that surprising. And my total number went from 352 down to 337. If we don't include the single pan shadows, my total number is 226, which I've said this many times throughout this video, I think. None of those numbers are very outrageous. My total number did go down, which is exciting. I think if I didn't include the single pan shadows, my number wouldn't have gone down. Yes, okay. In my last update, if I didn't include the single pan shadows, my total number would have been 215. And this time, without the single pan shadows, my number is 226. So without the single pan shadows, I did increase by 11, but I did manage to get rid of quite a few pan shadows, which I think counts for something. So there is my makeup inventory for October of 2020. Very exciting. This is definitely later in the year than I usually film it. I think usually I do it about every 6 months, but I waited about 10 months. It is what it is, it's fine. But I'll have another update in the future at some point, so if you don't want to miss that, consider subscribing. I do lots of project pans, the occasional declutter, shop my stash, all of that fun and exciting stuff. Consider subscribing, and if you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And I think that is everything I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.